All right, we are here with Gideon from Destructo Disk.
Right in your face, breakfast in space, keeps you warm, keeps you satisfied with the cold ahead.
Ever since releasing their debut album, Punk Rocks for Kids Who Can't Skate, in 2018, Destructo Disk has achieved success on the social media site TikTok, where users around the world have featured their songs. The band features bassist Molly Gordon, drummer Danny Roth, and guitarist and vocalist Gideon Kupka, who will provide insightful answers to these puzzling questions we have about their band and the Richmond scene.
So, tell us your story. How did you musicians find this scene?
Okay, well, Destructo Disk, we moved here in 2021, in September of 2021, so we've only been here about 2 years. We found the Richmond scene through some friends who started bringing us to the city, and we just started coming to the area more and seeing that it was like, there's shit going on here. There's lots of cool bands, there's lots of cool places to play, and just like, we moved out of our hometown and we came here because it was like time to grow, time to expand. And we were like, why don't we get out of our little town where there's nothing, and why don't we go to a place that's nearby, close enough, but with a scene. And like Richmond was like not only the best option, but kind of like the only option in Virginia, basically. It's cool, it's like a nice little Virginia city. But yeah, like friends and opportunity kind of brought us here 2 years ago.
What's been like your biggest hardship as a band so far?
Our drummer works in a factory. He has always worked this factory schedule. Basically, as long as Destructo Disk has existed, he's worked for like Rubbermaid and like other companies where they give him his whole schedule for the whole year. So he's like, and he can only take like 7 vacation days for the whole year. So our drummer's schedule has always been the biggest hurdle in this band. If he didn't have that schedule, I bet we could operate like real human beings. But my drummer's work schedule is the easy answer to that. Like, you'd think it would be something like, oh, we can't agree on things, or oh, this and that. But it's literally just my drummer's job. It's literally just that.
So do you guys all like work, besides like the band, you guys all have like jobs and stuff?
Yeah, we're just some like working class dudes.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but Molly, I've been a line cook for like 8 years, and then like other jobs too. I like to be a line cook at music venues because it's like kind of connected to the band. There's like some opportunities there, being in the scene, that's cool. So like, I'm a cook. Molly just got out of kitchen work. Molly was in kitchen work about as long as me. Molly does stagehand stuff now. So we kind of do like work involved in music, even though I'm just at a venue. Danny's in a factory. So we all just work like regular jobs, and we just do the band in our free time, and we make time for it because we all like it a lot.
How have you guys utilized like the internet? How much of your success has come from like promoting yourself on the internet as opposed to just like grinding out shows?
So it's interesting because a lot of our success on the internet was not our own doing. It was other people. I mean, you know, like we had some songs go around on like TikTok and stuff, but I'm not on TikTok. I don't use it. And like, we didn't do, like, we just like woke up one day and people were like, yo, did you guys see your songs going around on the internet, on TikTok? And we were like, what? And like, it's interesting. That's an interesting question because it's kind of like two like separate worlds almost, because like there's some people who like see our numbers online and they're like, you guys are like a real band. You guys are like a big deal. And to us, we played in our hometown almost exclusively for like the first 5 years of the band, and like we kind of got this little local following, and we kind of got all this like our shows are a lot of fun. People show up and dance, and it's like a lot of support, but our shows don't always feel like those numbers online. Every once in a while we'll play something that will be like crazy, and I'll be like, oh yeah, like we have a good amount of people listening to us. But it's interesting how we're in a unique position where we kind of have these two different lives, worlds.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I also forgot the question.
One more question about the internet. So obviously like platforms like TikTok, like you were talking about, have like repopularized like certain genres like shoegaze and nu metal. There have been a lot of like modern bands like horror and poppy who have kind of like started picking up that sound. And they've got like a lot of attention for it. Do you guys like plan on incorporating like other genres like that into your sound, or are you gonna like stick to punk rock?
I like this question because genre kind of pisses me off these days. Now, it's not the... There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with genre. It's just me. It's just like as music grows and continues and technology and all these things improve and what yada yada yada, like people will blend genres. They'll come up with new ideas. I mean, you know, like as we get older, we are definitely listening to a lot more like shoegaze, post-rock, like hip-hop, like a lot of different stuff. And like Destructo Disk to me and to all three of us has never been like, oh, this is our punk band, this is the sound. Like, no, like if I write like some big depressing emo song that's really slow and I take it to the band and they're like, we really like this, let's make it a song, that is Destructo Disk. It's us three, it's not a sound. You know, it's kind of like punk rock, it's like a frame of mind. Destructo Disk is just us three best friends like making whatever we want to make, because all our favorite bands are like that. Like Minutemen, like to me they're my favorite band, and they're like one of the most important bands in rock and roll in history, and they're so awesome. And they were just like three best friends, and they just make this like avant-garde shit, and sometimes make like country music and just like literally do whatever they want. And they got spit on because people didn't understand them, and they just like didn't care. They were just like expressing themselves, and that's what like being in a band, playing music's about. So like, yeah, we will incorporate shoegaze, and yeah, we will incorporate hardcore, and we will incorporate all these things that we're getting into, and we'll also stop incorporating things, and we'll do surf, and we'll do emo, and just like all this stuff, because that's what being in a band to me is about. You know, if we were to change the sound a little bit, I'm not going to change the band name because it sounds a little different. I'm going to make that a new album, and then people will be like, I like the old album more, or like, I like the new shit. I think bands should grow and expand. Like, why would you want to keep releasing the same song all the time? I mean, it's cool sometimes, like, you know, Ramones rock, but I really like that we've been a band for 8 years and you can see the growth over time. Like, our early stuff is very simple and very early punk rock stuff, and as we go on now, it's kind of like, yo, like, it still is like punk, but it's got all these other elements too, and these other influences. Been very natural, and we're all very proud of it.
Yeah. So how's the Richmond scene treated you?
Okay.
It's been good?
The Richmond scene is so wonderful, and I want to shout out the Richmond scene because we've only been here 2 years, like a short amount of time, and we've made so many friends, and we've met so many cool bands, and we've played with so many people, and like I've been shown so much and like taught so much in a short amount of time by like all different kinds of people that come from different places, and just like everyone's really supportive of one another, and then like if you're not, like you don't get that support back. So it's like, it's just like it's kind of like what I always wanted, like in my hometown, just like an art scene that's like, it's a unique, it's not like a Philly or Chicago, but it is like something, and it's like special, and like I like it, and I love like Strawberry Moon and Lobby Boy and Drook and 10 Pound
Just discovered
Snail.
Strawberry Moon. They're really good.
Strawberry Moon, so good. They on the up. They on the up.
Oh yeah.
They just like got a lineup change. Their new music is so good. New Strawberry Moon.
Awesome. I'm gonna check that out right after this interview.
But yeah, just like Richmond has been so supportive of us, and we haven't been here that long, and I already feel like a local now. Like I feel like I'm part of the Richmond scene, and I feel like I can like talk like a local, even though I've only been here 2 years, because it's such a supportive environment, and it's such a nice, welcoming place, and everyone is just like doing their own thing and recognizing that, and it doesn't feel like snobby. Like there aren't many people that are like on their high horse about it. Like I don't feel like I'm in like New York or something. It's just cool. It's chill, and it's like it's what I like a lot right now, and I'm gonna be chilling here for a minute. My first punk shows I started going to were in Baltimore. I would go to the Auto Bar all the time, like 2013 to 2015. I went to a bunch of Auto Bar shows. That place is awesome. I saw Title Fight there. I saw Tiger's Jaw. I saw Basement. I saw Super Heaven when they were Daylight. I saw like all those like Tumblr punk bands, Balance and Composure, and like all those bands, like even though they weren't like, not all of them were like punk bands, like it was crowd surfing and stage diving and like so much support and like movement and like young kids like throwing themselves around, and it was so like, it was such like a moment for me. I was like, I really kind of like locked in. I feel like since like those shows, I've really just like, it's like what I want to do. It's like the community I want to be a part of. And I love music, and I love punk rock, and I love my friends, and I love Richmond.
Nice. All right, 2 more questions for you. So how do you define success?
I think that changes by the individual, but it's a good question. I don't even know if I have thought about that myself. Success could be like something as simple as like, I made a goal and I worked towards it and I achieved it. Like that to me is success. Like just simply completing a goal, doing a task list, waking up, whatever. But I think also like a sense of like personal fulfillment. Success, you know, success could be like, I can pay rent this month. I'm not worried about paying rent. That's cool. Like Tenacious D movie, like the whole plot of that movie, they're just trying to pay rent. Like as a musician, as a 26-year-old musician, I'm like, that's so awesome and real. It's so sick. I love that movie. But I think success is just kind of like, to me, is maybe kind of like doing something that makes it feel like you're living your life. You know, like sometimes you meet someone and you're like, what do you do? Like, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? And I don't really have an answer. I'm just like if you're like working towards something, you're like, this is the thing I like to do. This is fulfilling. This is me. I think that is success.
Yeah.
And if something as simple as doing a couple errands helps you feel good about your place in the world, that's success. If writing a song is that, if painting a picture is that, if starting a business is that, if going to work and being a good employee is that, that's all success. It's you know, it's based on the individual. But to me, I think like a good sense of inner fulfillment that doesn't harm the world, I think that's success.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree. So my last question is, how do you succeed?
You have to go with your gut, and you have to listen to your intuition, and you have to listen to yourself, and you have to listen to the people in your life that are good influences, and you have to recognize what's helpful to you and what's harmful for you, and you have to be able to set boundaries for things, and you have to be able to say no, and you have to be able to say yes. And there's many tools at your disposal that can bring you success. You just have to have an open mind and an open heart, and you have to listen and take constructive criticism, and you just have to be present. And being present is something that I'm always trying to do, but I'm not the best at it. But I feel like if you can be present and think before you act and just be good, treat others the way you want to be treated, I think success will come to you. You just gotta be yourself. It's one of those things.
Awesome. And as 2 people that are going to film school and hopefully trying to break into that film scene one day, that definitely helps. That's great advice.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm glad to give it.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's
Thank
been
you guys.
a wonderful interview. Of course.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
I'd like to talk politics, I'd like to strike fear in all of the oppressed men that stand in my way. I'm not your plaything, I'm a motherfucking queen, because who needs a king? Wish it was a right girl, feminazi punk, not your average ordinary day job girl. I won't take your abuse, quit acting like a bitch and making up excuses.